Hey guys, it's Eskai, and a question I get constantly asked by everybody that watches my content is Hytale worth it right now? And the answer isn't a straight yes or no. So in today's video, we're going to be looking at the type of players that should totally get the game today, and who maybe should wait a little bit more until the game gets polished out. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. Let's first start talking about what type of player should get the game right now. If you feel like you identify with these points and they call your attention, then I would really recommend you consider purchasing the game as it is now. When you first hop into Hytale, it's easy to notice how everything feels. From the smoothness of the lighting, the blocks, and the decorations, the game has a charm that encourages exploration. Although it is in alpha, it's easy to tell right out of the gate that there is care and love put in by the developers. There are Quebec trees, short camps, mine shafts, and dungeons underground begging to be found. Straight out of the gates of Orbis' starting room, there's a lot to do and discover. Different behaving NPCs, and fights with aggressive mobs that you have to strategize around. Unlockable recipes, tools, and weapons that will make your adventure so much more your own. Although it's still an unfinished canvas, there's a whole fresh world ready to be seen and enjoyed. The surface of Orbis isn't the only thing that is there for exploring. The caves offer harder challenges, greater rewards, and new environments to face as you explore. Under the Orbis world, there's a ton of environments hidden away. From lava caverns with golems, to underground lush forests filled with dinosaurs, the current zones, and the content that is already existing will scratch the itch of all of those type of players that really love exploration. The bare bones stage of the game is a great time to learn the base mechanics of everything. Think about it this way, playing now will mean that when inevitably down the line, when your other friends decide to give it a go, you'll be the friend that knows what to do, how to do it, and will be able to give the tips and tricks to everyone around. You will be that friend that has always had the game, and that everybody relies on to get stuff done, because you have the greater understanding of the base game and all of its mechanics. It's honestly quite hard to go back to other games once you've experienced Hytale's movement system. Being able to actually grab a ledge and pull yourself up, or the way the character can traverse the environment almost like gliding. It feels smooth, polished, and satisfying. I recently went back with my friends to Minecraft after the release of Hytale to do a hardcore world where I couldn't help but notice how massive the difference is, and how slow or clunky the movement feels. I have nothing against it, it's just hard to go back after playing Hytale for a while and being used to this new type of movement. Let's be clear though, Hytale isn't just a move around and exploring and do whatever simulator, it's a game with a tailored purpose. You can't just complete it within the same chunk or couple chunks, it feels very alive. It asks you to go to different areas for different resources, and as such you're encouraged to meet all the different creatures of the world. This more tailored mechanic makes it so you don't become stuck in a plains biome with a base and leave only to make a farm in the middle of the ocean. You're forced to go into desert caverns for thorium, for example. It ties in the aspect of Sandbox with adventure and exploration really well, so you feel like there's a purpose in the rest of the world more than just your base. And lastly, if you're a modder or a creative player, you're honestly doing yourself quite a big disservice by waiting. The tools are already accessible within the game, even if they're incomplete, and they're quite a work of art. The scripted brushes, the node editors, the ease of creating mods is so fantastic. I can't ever give it enough credit because they're so rich and deep that those tools could be a video all of its own. For Minecraft players who are used to spending hours setting up external programs and folders, this is going to feel like magic when you're able to create a terrain, for example, straight out of the gates. You can use prefabs and shape your own world within minutes, in a very satisfying and very non-tedious way, may I add. So guys, if you felt like you're related to any of these points, I'm going to leave a link for the official game page down below in the description. And if you're on your way down, I would really appreciate if you could give the video a little bit of a like or a sub. Up to you guys. Thank you very much, and let's move into the next category. Now let's talk about the reasons why you should maybe wait, and what type of player should benefit from letting the game be polished and more content to be added before being influenced or having a negative connotation towards Hytale. Again, if you feel like any of these points are a must-have and bare minimums for you in an experience, I would maybe consider waiting a little bit. Let's be real, the soul of the game, the adventure mode, is still not there. Right now, it's a beautiful world with no script. You can explore, you can fight, but the overarching story that connects the zones isn't there yet. It's a stage without a script. All of you guys that are expecting features that make Hytale unique and RPG-like might feel like it's quite lackluster in that regard at the moment. All the story and polished features that the devs have promised we will see down the line aren't there yet, and it reflects in the playable world for now. So this is a really important point that I need to bring out, is that for now, there's no clear objectives. There's no quest markers or objectives out of the gate, no go here to save Orbis. If you're the type of player who really gets bored without a to-do list on your screen, you're going to find yourself standing in a field wondering what the point is about 5 hours into the game. And there's no way to sugarcoat it. Yeah, there's an argument that to be made that with the progression of your gear, materials, and crafting tables, But for now, there isn't a clear goal or a way to beat the game per se, and I know that this to a lot of people can be quite jarring. Zone 1, in my opinion, is already quite a masterpiece of a starting area, but as you get deeper into the more dangerous areas, you'll start to see the early access cracks. Some mobs have very basic AI that breaks easily, and some of the higher tier biomes and zones haven't clearly had their final polish pass yet. There's a lack of content the later you get into the game, empty houses, biomes, and no real challenging boss fights for the moment. So another thing that I should bring up is that since the game is so new and there are no wikis, guys, I spent about an hour looking for one type of material that my wife wanted us to use to finish the roof of our house: shale and shale cobble. In other games, that's a 5-second Google search. In Hytale right now, you have to manually check every crafting station and every biome. It's frustrating when you just want to build the next thing and the information isn't there yet. Though this to some, like me, can be very frustrating because I like to get things done very quick, to some it can also be cool that everything is new and to be discovered. But for those of us that want to know how to do things with a simple search to save time, it can be quite a hassle. We have seen why you should get the game and why you should maybe wait. But that's the main points I want to highlight. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when the right time will be. Let's talk about the promise of Hytale and why I'm very confident that there's a lot of signs that we can trust it. Hypixel Studios right now is getting down and dirty. They're responding to bug reports in real time. This isn't a studio that is going to go radio silent for 6 months and let us wonder what is happening. They're community oriented because they started as the community. They understand that there's importance in having players help shape the game and polish all of the features. And they're keeping open channels of communication with us constantly throughout the process. The potential for Hytale is sky high. When they finally drop the full bosses like the Void Dragon or the Brood Mother with their full cinematic intros, Hytale is going to transform from being a cool sandbox to a legendary RPG. We're essentially seeing right now what the bare bones of what, in my opinion, and if they succeed in keeping their promises, is going to be quite the generational game. Because the game is fully built to be modded from the ground up without any drawbacks, the polished and high quality content won't just come from the devs, it will come from us, the community. In a year, we will be thousands of community made adventures, minigames and items, and hundreds of possible different genres, not just fantasy. The game is just the roots. The community is going to help it grow into a full tree. Down the line, Hytale is going to be a game that everybody should try. To some of us, now is the good old days, and to some they will come later down the line. But eventually, I hope that everyone gives the game a go because it will be worth it. And I can say that with a lot of confidence. That was me for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Eskai out.